Hey, Soul Fam. How are y'all doing today? If you're receiving this, say hi. Let me know that that you can hear me and that you're popping on to receive this delicious message. This conversation has been brought to you by the Divine today. I have to say, wholeheartedly, this conversation was not my idea. So if you feel like you're going through kind of an expansion of 5D living and lifestyle, and really find your heart being stretched wide open, and maybe your ascension process has been accelerated. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for popping on. It's so great to see you. I did have a really juicy weekend. Thank you so much. I actually saw sharks. So that was cool. That's not an everyday occurrence. But we live in Florida, so normally dolphins are our visitors when we're out by the water. But this weekend it was sharks, which I thought was really interesting. So Cindy, I'm sharing with all of you and those in our soul fam a little bit about like fifth dimensional living and how it compares or differs from like 3D life. It's very strange. Your like inner navigational compass is not the same. And the 3D, let's say, map, the 3D version of things isn't compatible or isn't very well compatible with the 5D way of doing things. So if you take this older version of an onboard navigational system and you try to run it on the new Earth highways, you're not going to get very far very fast. And so the divine wanted me to deliver this conscious conversation with all of you, and maybe it'll support your navigation and make it a little bit easier. Does that sound juicy? Does that sound something that you would like to know a little bit more about? So recently I changed my business over to Ty Gold, the Alchemist, but for a lot of years I was Ty the Spirit Messenger, because I have been co-creating with the divine and having conversations with the divine since 2012 about our new earth and the shifts and changes. And like all of you, everybody else, nothing special. I've had just as bumpy of a ride as the rest of us over this transition, this transformation into our new earth energetics. But I'm here to report back and share some news with you. The wild ride is worth it. Manifestation happens on faster timelines. There's so much more peace, love, grace, joy, abundance. There's so much more unity. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for popping on. It's very enticing. It's a very wonderful place to be. But the roadmaps can be hard, can be difficult, can be a challenge to navigate, especially if you're trying to do it kind of the old way of doing things. So when you're in these 5D energetics, these new earth paradigm ways of operating, it's very much controlled or assimilated through the heart space. 3D navigation and compass was very mind brain controlled. Everything had systems and structures, and everything made sense, right? Everything was kind of like a ladder or kind of a pyramid shape to grow, right? Charts. We just love these. And 5D is a lot more obstacle coursey, with adventures and quick passes and shortcuts and cut throughs and workarounds and reroutes and U-turns. It's very interesting. Lots of awesomeness, lots of magic, but it's so soul navigated. It's so heart navigated. So this kind of like 5D living, 5D experience requires so much expansion in your heart space, in your guidance, in your intuition. And to receive the maximum capacity value that's in the 5D paradigm of this shift, you really have to surrender more and more into receiving guidance from your soul and being heart-led. And that comes with its own stuff, right? And that's what the divine wanted me to talk to you guys about today. When we are leading and receiving from our heart space to be more soul guided and navigated, a lot of times we end up feeling like we're the only car on the opposite side of the highway traveling at like Mach speed in a direction that we're not sure where it ends up. We have no idea where it lands, and we can see everybody else on the other side of the road. So it can feel like you're driving down the wrong side of the highway or going in the wrong direction, because the heart, the soul, is a nonconformist. The heart and soul will deliver you to circumstances that are extraordinary and unusual. And I'll ask you to be sympathetic, compassionate, understanding, loving, and grace-filled. But it can be lonely sometimes, or you can feel like you're doing this on your own. So one of the things I want to, okay, Elizabeth says she's feeling this. Yeah, me too, friend, me too. And maybe this is why the divine's asking me to have this conversation, because it does feel like we're going in the opposite direction of everyone else, into no man's land. We're not sure what's going to be there. And this is why I start out this conversation saying, hey, soul fam. Like, hey, soul fam. Because a heart and soul led life experience direction requires so much courage, so much compassion. And it's really important to me that I honor each one of you guys and what you're going through. And maybe we nominate each other to start to form this community, right? We start to have a sense of this courageous community. And we start to see each other. Like, I see you traveling down that highway of uniqueness, of individuality. And I see you in that bright red car being so courageous, non-conforming, and it feels like everybody else got some memo except you, and it can really make you second guess yourself. And literally the divine asked me today to wear this shirt honoring this message. So I just want to share it with you. Be bold, be brave, be you, because it's your uniqueness, it's your individuality that your soul is going to be calling you even more, even more. So if you feel like you're being guided or asked to do something that nobody else is doing, it's probably right. If it's some strange combination, or it's probably true. It's probably meant for you. You're meant to solve some problem that nobody else has before. Your uniqueness, your methods, your methodology, your unique stuff. That's what the divine's tapping you on the shoulder and asking you to do. And it may mean that you're doing things that society would not consider of sound judgment, of sound mind. And it might not make sense on some parts of the road. Like, it doesn't make sense how that avenue is going to create that outcome. And I get it. I'm here. I get it. And it's totally possible. It's totally what the divine may be asking you to do. So if you're having a moment right now where you're like experiencing inner thought objections, or you're fearing rejection, or you're nervous about this loneliness, and like starting out doing something that maybe nobody else has done before, I'm going to provide some activations for you if you'd like to receive them. I'm going to call them out, but I'm first going to ask you to drop into your heart space right now. Take a couple of deep breaths. I love you. I see you. I receive you. I honor you in your glory, in your magnificence, in being extraordinary. And I'm asking right now for the divine Aw. To put their arms around you and support you even more, adapting you to have a little bit more courage, a little bit more resilience for the journey ahead, to help you to create that thing or identify that uniqueness about you or what you bring to this planet, what you offer to this earth. And understanding that sometimes this walk can be a lonely road, but you're never truly alone. And know that my space is your space. This community is here for you. This is a no judgment zone. It's a judgment-free zone. We love, honor, and cherish and appreciate each other. The divine says these activations are whole and complete. So I just love for you to sit there in that love bubble for a minute if you're feeling it, soaking that up. And I'm going to share one of my recent products that I'm excited about that I invested in. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So the reason why this is relative is because this is a tool also that the divine brought me to consider while I'm going through this heart expansion. I had to do so much forgiveness around myself and others. That's one of my juices, one of my medicines that I need and I receive and I bring to the table when I work with people. And forgiveness is it's a lofty medicine, right? So it's necessary. So in that, the divine brought me something called, you're welcome, ceremonial cacao. Now, I heard about this business for years and years before I purchased it. And some of you may or may not know this about me. Yes, it is. Forgiveness is a big medicine, isn't it? Some of you may or may not know about this, about me, but I used to have a strong chemical dependency on alcohol and kind of like other drugs. And so it's part of my lifestyle now. And the ways I operate is I use my own self-healing tools and methods, energy medicine, divine guidance, investing in other healers to kind of help me when I have issues or problem areas come up. So I very rarely take any thing by mouth, anything man-made now, because I have my self-healing methods are on the highest setting. If I have issues, problems, circumstances in my life, I very rarely reach out for a tool. But the divine mentioned this to me in a meditation that my husband and I would be taking part in a cacao ceremony. And I always wait if any plant medicine is brought to me. Because of my history, I always give it time. I never jump on it. I want to make sure I'm aligned to the intention that the divine is wanting. The highest intention for me and the plant medicine, if it's brought to my awareness, and kind of make sure that I'm aligned to the highest scope of that. So anyway, I invested in this ceremonial cacao, didn't really know anything about it. The reason why I chose Firefly, a couple of reasons, for the company that I invested in is because they have a lot of video tutorials, and I'm a teacher at heart. That means I love learning all the time. And so they have a ton of material out there to teach you about these ceremonies. And I love rituals and I love ceremonies. A lot of the people that I had spoken to prior to this, they use cacao ceremony as a daily ritual. I wouldn't do that. But I'm extremely sensitive to chemicals in my body. So I have used their products a few times. When I ordered from them, I got like their trial pack version. It comes in this really cute bag. And this brochure tells you how to use it and everything. They're really awesome. It's sustainably sourced by this great guy. He's got a wonderful story. So, in 5D business, we don't invest in just products. We invest in causes, right? We invest in people's why. So there was a lot of stuff around his why that I totally connected to. So I purchased the trial version, which gave me I think 5 different types of cacao. Some of these are blends. and I was able to put it in my like Ninja and hot water. I think I did a little bit of honey and almond milk. So I have a huge reaction to this. There's no way that I could do this every day. My heart goes, and I'm able to like feel and heal and I've had some really honest and reflective, heart opening conversations with my husband where I was able to not feel guarded or defensive, but very, very open. And that's why I wouldn't recommend, like for me, I couldn't do this every day. This is something that I feel like is a special occasion, ceremonial thing, and I do honor it that way. And as you can see, we've had this maybe like almost 6 months, and I've only used maybe half of it. Out of one of these bags, you can get like 2 servings. So, Riley and I have used some, and then I used the medicinal mushroom cacao for myself. Riley's not into mushrooms. I think the one we did together was a rose blend. It was like meant to be kind of heart and romance invoking. But there's different blends here that kind of have different intentions. This one's called Vibrant Vitality Cacao, and it's got mesa and ashwagandha. This will probably be one of my next ones. So I don't go after this when I'm having a chocolate craving because, again, it's very intentional. It's very ceremonial. I kind of have a whole experience built around it, and I'm not just treating it like it's hot chocolate. I've wanted to, and I've checked myself because it's not really the design of it. The plant medicine, the cacao in it, has communicated with me. So typically I meditate with it, the cacao, after I make it, a cup of it. I meditate with it and I receive a lot of guidance from it. And then the properties of it are just really like soul nurturing, heartwarming, generous, forgiving, kind, loving. It's very unifying. So I just wanted to share with you one of the products that I have invested in. I've really enjoyed it, and just kind of my thoughts and opinions around it. Take it or leave it. If it's something that you want to look more into, I'll make sure that we put the link down below. But there's a lot of different companies. I just really like this guy's cause, this guy's why, and how he sources this, because there are right ways to source this type of product from our planet, and there are ways with less integrity. And for me, that stuff really matters, and I don't mind paying a little extra to make sure that it's sourced with honor and integrity. So hopefully this live stream you felt has been beneficial today. Give me a thumbs up or a like. Let me know in the comments if you felt like these activations were supportive and you feel the love. You feel the love and the encouragement and the courage. I understand what it's like to drive down that highway of life and feel like you're the only one traveling that distance while everybody else is on the other side of the road. I get it. And I love you, and hang in there, soul fam. This can be a wild ride, but it is the most rewarding because it's you. You're going to be living the life that you dream of. So thank you so much for popping on. I'm glad to hear that you needed this and that it served you. And I'll speak to you guys soon. So have fun, be you, do you. Speak to you later. Bye.